The Tape in the Fire Tower. A calm horror story written on July 2, 2025. The first rule of fire tower duty was simple: don't let the isolation get to you. Wes knew that. He'd trained for this, spent months learning about weather patterns, spotting smoke trails, reading maps, logging updates. But nothing quite prepares you for the quiet. Not really. It was his first week alone at Tower 9, perched on the edge of a vast national forest. No cell service. No internet. Just a shortwave radio, a wind-up lantern, and stacks of handwritten logs dating back decades. He liked it, mostly. Until the third night. When the floor creaked beneath his cot, a place that shouldn't creak, and something shifted under the wooden planks. He pried them up the next morning and found an old plastic box. Inside, a single cassette tape. No label. Just a date written in faded ink, September 18, 2004. Exactly 20 years ago to the day. He didn't have a player at first. But the next morning, tucked behind the shelf of field guides, was an old cassette recorder. Like it had always been there, waiting. He pressed play. At first, only static. Then, a voice. Low. Shaky. Familiar. If you're hearing this. I guess I didn't make it out either. It was his voice. Wes dropped the recorder. It clattered onto the wooden floorboards, the tape still whirring softly. He stared at it like it might grow teeth. That voice, it was undeniably his. Slightly distorted, older maybe, but unmistakable. He took a breath and hit stop. Then rewind. Then play. Again, the same voice, same message, same fear behind the words. If you're hearing this. I guess I didn't make it out either. Tower 9 isn't what it seems. I thought I was just seeing things, hearing the wind wrong. But it's more than that. There's something in the trees. It comes at night. Wes felt the blood drain from his face. He stepped outside onto the metal deck that wrapped around the fire tower. The air was still. Too still. Usually the pines below danced with a steady wind. Now they stood frozen. Watching. He went back inside. The tape clicked. Then the voice continued. I think it learns. Every time the tower resets, it gets smarter. I left a trail, marked trees, stacked rocks, even tried burying a warning. But none of it lasted. It's like the forest corrects itself. Wes sat down slowly, hands shaking. I've seen myself in the mirror. But I don't think it's a reflection anymore. It blinks when I don't. It smiles when I frown. I don't know what it is, but it's getting closer. A loud thump echoed from beneath the floor. Wes froze. The tape clicked again, as if responding to the sound. You'll hear it too. First beneath the floor. Then behind the walls. Don't let it in. Don't speak to it, no matter what voice it uses. Another pause. Then softer. And if you see me out there, it's not me. Wes hit stop. Silence returned, but it felt heavier than before. Denser. Like the tape had opened something that couldn't be closed. That night, the tower creaked more than usual. Windless groans, long and slow, like the wood itself was holding its breath. At 3:11 a.m., Wes saw movement on the tree line. Just a shape. Standing there. Watching. He grabbed the binoculars. It looked like himself. Wearing the same ranger uniform. Standing perfectly still. Then it raised its hand and waved. Wes dropped the binoculars. He locked the door. In the morning, the figure was gone. He searched the forest with a scope, nothing. But when he went to log the incident, the tape recorder had moved. It now sat on the edge of his desk. And beside it, a second tape. This one labeled, "Play Last." Wes didn't touch it. Not yet. The next 2 days blurred together. He tried to radio bass, static. He lit signal flares, no response. The trail that led down the mountain looked different. Bent the wrong way. Like it had been redrawn. At night, the wind carried whispers that almost formed words. And in the mirror, his reflection lingered half a second too long. On the 4th night, he broke. He played the second tape. It began with heavy breathing. Then, I tried to leave. Got as far as the creek bed. But the trees shifted behind me. The trail was gone. Something followed. A pause. Tower 9 doesn't let you go. It keeps you. Like it's collecting versions of us. Every loop, one more ranger. That's what it wants. The voice choked. Then whispered. If you want to stop it, you have to burn the tower. Burn it all. The tape clicked and stopped. Wes stood for a long time. Then he picked up the fuel canister from under the sink. The emergency kit included it, meant for controlled fires or heating. He doused the wood. His hands trembled as he lit a match. The flame danced. Flickered. Then went out. The matchbox was empty. Wes turned back toward the window, and saw 10 versions of himself staring in from the dark. To be continued. Wes didn't scream. He couldn't. The breath froze in his lungs as he watched the figures below the tower. They didn't move like people. They stood in perfect formation, each one identical. The same face. His face. Same uniform. Same expression. Except one. One of them smiled. And it wasn't his smile. Wes backed away from the window, heart hammering against his ribs. He grabbed the emergency radio and tried again, spinning through frequencies. Hello? Anyone, this is Tower 9. There's something outside. I need. A voice crackled in. His own voice. I wouldn't do that. He dropped the radio. Sleep was out of the question. He turned on every light. Piled furniture against the trapdoor. Sat with his back against the desk and the axe across his knees. He tried to stay awake by reading the old tower logs, yellowed, handwritten notes from rangers long before him. Most were ordinary. Weather reports. Fire risks. Wildlife sightings. But near the end of one logbook, something changed. September 12, 2004. Heard footsteps below the tower again. Don't think it's a bear. September 13th. Found a second axe in the supply locker. Identical to mine. But I never put one there. September 15th. I saw myself in the mirror again. This time, he waved first. September 16th. I tried burning it. It rebuilt. In a day. September 17th. Don't play the second tape. That's how it learns. Wes dropped the logbook. He'd played the second tape. The next morning, the sky was the wrong color. Not quite gray. Not quite blue. A dull, humming hue like the sky had gone sick. The trees were different too. Thicker. Taller. No birds. No bugs. No sound. He thought about jumping. The fall would be quick. But when he looked over the railing, he didn't see the ground. Only blackness. Stretching down. Bottomless. The tower was no longer part of the world. That night, the recorder played by itself. Wes had thrown it away, buried it under a pile of firewood. But somehow, it sat on the desk again. Spinning. Whirring. The voice was different this time. Younger. A child. "Hi, Daddy." He blinked. "Do you remember the camping trip?" the voice asked. "When we got lost in the woods? You promised we'd find our way out." Wes shook his head. "No. No, I don't have a daughter." The voice turned cold. "Not anymore." He covered his ears. The voice kept going. "You left me here. In the dark. So now we're all here. All your pieces." When he opened his eyes, the mirror had cracked. Not shattered, cracked, in a perfect spiral from the center. His reflection was still. Too still. And then it blinked. Backward. Wes tore through the supply closet, found flare guns, rope, old maps, but the maps now showed different names. New territories. Places that didn't exist yesterday. The Hollow Pines ***. Echo Meadow ***. Reflection Creek ***. The Loop ***. One was circled in red ink. The Eye. There was a note below it, "Everything sees from here." He heard the trapdoor creak. Then footsteps. Up the ladder. Slow. Deliberate. Something was coming up. Wes raised the axe. And waited. Part 3 coming up next. He braced himself. But when the trapdoor finally pushed open, nothing came through. Just cold air. Still, he waited. Minutes passed. Then an hour. Eventually, he climbed down the ladder and found nothing on the lower level. No footprints. No scratches. Only dust. But the hatch had been unlocked from the inside. That afternoon, Wes sat on the deck, staring at the forest through the binoculars. In every direction, he saw small movements, flickers of light, branches that bent without wind. At one point, he spotted a deer. But it had too many joints in its legs. It moved like a puppet, limbs bending the wrong way. He stopped looking after that. When he turned to go back inside, the recorder was playing again. His voice, only, calmer. Resigned. "You're not going to make it," it said. "But it's okay. The tower likes stories. Just keep telling it yours. Talk into the mirror. Let it learn you. That way, it can make more of you. You're not the first. You won't be the last." Wes yanked the batteries out. But it kept playing. On day 9, the sky rained ash. The forest below smoldered, though nothing burned. Black flakes drifted upward, like gravity was in reverse. He'd stopped eating by then. Food went stale overnight. Water tasted like copper. His skin looked grayer in the mirror each day. He left messages on every log page he could find. "If you get here, don't listen to the tapes. Burn it down, but not at night. Don't speak to your reflection. It already knows your name." There is no day 10. But day 10 came. And with it, a voice on the radio. Not his own this time. A woman. Soft. Familiar. "Wes. Are you there? Please, answer me." He grabbed the mic. "Who is this?" A pause. Then, "It's Mom." He froze. His mother had died 3 years ago. "I'm downstairs," she said. "Let me in." He stared at the hatch. "Don't make me knock." The floorboards thudded once. Then again. Then again. Boom. 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 Each hit in perfect rhythm. Like a heartbeat. Then silence. Then a whisper. "Wes. You were always my favorite." He curled in the corner and cried. That night, the fire tower began to change. The walls bent inward slightly, like the wood was breathing. The mirror pulsed, each crack glowing faintly. And in the center of the floor, carved neatly with a knife, were 5 words. Stay. We like you here. Wes took the axe and smashed the mirror. It didn't shatter. It laughed. One more section will finish it out. Wes didn't sleep that night. He sat by the window, staring into the dark, listening to the tower breathe. He thought of the other rangers, the ones whose logs stopped abruptly. The ones whose names he didn't know, but whose voices lived in the tapes. He wondered how many versions of himself the tower had made. How many were still wandering the woods? By dawn, he had a plan. If he couldn't destroy the tower, he'd leave it. On foot. In daylight. No detours. He packed light, just the compass, the last full water bottle, and 1 flare. He stepped outside, blinked at the strange amber light. The forest smelled like burnt paper and static. No trails. Just endless trees. He picked a direction and walked. Hours passed. The sky never changed. Eventually, he found a trail of footprints. His own. He followed them for a while until they bent back in a loop. Then he found another tower. Identical to his. Same elevation. Same radio antenna. Same firewood pile. But no one inside. He climbed the stairs, heart pounding. Inside, a desk. A recorder. And a tape labeled, "Start here." The cot was still warm. He ran. No direction mattered anymore. North led to another tower. So did west. So did east. Each one the same, some abandoned, others with Wes sleeping in them. Or crying. Or staring at the wall. One Wes was already dead. Another was drawing spirals on the floor, over and over, muttering names. He ran until his legs gave out. Then he saw it. A clearing. At the center, a mirror. No frame. No stand. Just hovering there, perfectly still. In its reflection, Tower 9. But behind him, in reality, nothing. Just trees. Wes stepped forward. The mirror whispered. "You've done well. We'll take it from here." Then his reflection stepped out. It smiled. Took the axe from his hands. And walked away. Wes was left in the clearing, no longer reflected. The trees around him began to spin, folding inward. And when the light returned, he was back in the tower. As if he'd never left. Only now, the recorder waited with a new tape. Labeled, "Welcome." Videocassette the end.